Hi, my name is Manjeet Kaur. Today I'm going to give presentation on unit Gdece 105, and the topic of my presentation is advocating for children's right and the public good. In this presentation, I will talk about Article 23 and role of teachers to promote inclusion. Article 23. According to Convention on the Rights of the Child 2022, children who have any kind of disability should receive special care and support so that they can live a full and independent life. In the past, people with disabilities, including children, have fought for recognition for equal rights. But luckily, nowadays, children with disabilities have equal rights and they have permission to go to mainstream. Means they have permission to study with children who don't have any kind of developmental delays or any disabilities. According to Gupta and Arora 2020, the Global Report on Disability states that 15% of the world's population, or about 1 million people, live with a disability, and the majority of these people live in developing countries. According to Australian Institute of Health and Welfare 2022, around 4.4 million people in Australia, or 1 in 6 people in Australia, have disability, and around 1.4 million people in Australia have serious disability. Children have special rights these days, like children who have disabilities. Like breach of any kind of rights lead to severe or serious punishment. The objectives of Article 23 are written or given below. According to Lansdowne 2022, a child who has intellectual or physical disability should live a respectable life in settings that uphold their dignity, encourage self-reliance, and enable them to actively participate in their community. So the main aim of this article is to make children independent. And the second one, to acknowledge children's entitlement to special services made necessary by their impairment. If children have any special needs, it is mandatory to provide them special services according to their needs. If children have any physical disability, it means providing them ramps or rails is important to access buildings. And next one is to make sure that children with disabilities has equal access to education, healthcare, rehabilitation, employment, and recreation, free of charge, subject to the financial resources of parents to enable them to achieve the fullest possible integration and development. Finally, to encourage global or international cooperation. Um, like Article 23 links with EYLF, Outcome 1 and Outcome 2. Outcome 1, children have a strong sense of identity. It means educators and teachers should use effective routines to make children predicted transitions smoothly. And educators should make efforts, or they should do such kind of practices with that children feel recognized or respected for who they are. And it also links with outcome two. Children are connected with and contribute to their world. It means children should have opportunity, or they have rights to contribute to fair decision making about matters that affect them. So if they feel that something wrong is happening with them, it's like children have equal rights to say yes or no for that. Like if they feel they are neglected or they are not treated well, they can speak about them or speak out for them. So like they can talk about, or they can contribute for their decisions, for their decision making. Breach of rights under Article 23. There are some situations when children's rights are breached or children are neglected. First of all, not providing enough staff in early childhood centers, especially in rooms having children with disabilities. If early childhood centers don't have enough staff, so obviously, if there are children with some special needs, they might feel neglected, or they might feel they might be ignored. So that is the breach of their rights. And second one is lack of proper infrastructure. If early childhood centers don't have ramps or rails for children who have physical disability, it means that might have a negative impact on children with disability as well. Lack of emotional support of parents, caregivers, and educators. If children with disability don't get a proper emotional support from parents, caregivers, or educators, it might have again a negative impact on their mental and physical well-being. Discrimination on the basis of disability. If children have any disability and they are discriminated when they go to any services, that means it's the breach of their rights. There are many negative impacts on children if their rights are breached. Like if children with disability they are treated badly or they are neglected, it can lead to isolation and or loneliness. It can also lead to anxiety and depression. So children might have poor confidence as well if they are not treated well, like if they are maltreated by their parents or educators just because of their disability. Then obviously children might not have get enough courage to speak up. It can also lead to lack of trust if children don't get proper emotional support from their parents or their teachers. Then they might not get opportunity to develop good relationships with them, so which can lead to lack of trust on them. There are some responsibilities like teachers' responsibilities that I mentioned here to promote inclusion in early childhood settings. First of all, it's really important for teachers to get relevant information about children. Like teachers should collect information about children's needs, their strengths and interest. Like especially children who have any kind of disability, rather it's physical disability or intellectual disability. So after getting all the relevant information, educators should try to plan activities for children accordingly so that all children can participate in the activity. They can feel the part of that activity. And second one is to, read books about inclusion. It's educators' responsibility to pick up different kinds of books about inclusion and read that books with children. For example, like there are some books here, same but different. We are different. We are same. We are welcome and lovely. These are examples of some books about inclusion. So it's responsibilities of educator to read such kinds of books in early childhood center so that children can feel that uh, undoubtedly we have some developmental delays or we have some disabilities, but still we are all the same. Teachers' reflection. As part of quality improvement, teachers should reflect on how inclusive their philosophies and practices are. It's teachers' responsibilities, like after organizing or after setting up any activity, they should reflect back on their practices and they should find out that whether their practices or their philosophies were inclusive or not. If their practices were not inclusive, they should try to make some changes so that all children can participate in those activities. And finally, practice practical skills. Educators should encourage children to practice practical skills with their peers or their friends in real world scenarios. And they should try to encourage and motivate children. And finally, these are references here. If someone has any question, please let me ask. I'm more than happy to give answer. Thank you so much for my presentation, listening to my presentation. Thank you.